guys, welcome back. Good to see you. Today is Monday. It's the start of a new week. It's the start of a new semester, and I have a lot going on this week. It's going to be pretty busy. We're still going to make time for school, our social life, working out, and obviously reading. I finished Anxious People yesterday, and I ended up rating it 3.5 stars. It just was not my favorite book. I understand why other people would have liked this, but for me, there's a lot of parts where I was just bored and not very much engaged. There were definitely times where it made me reflect and made me think like deeper and more philosophically, but the writing was so quirky to the point where I got like annoyed. I will say the ending was very heartwarming, which is why I bumped it up to 3.5 stars, because originally I was just like, there's no way this is gonna be more than 3 stars. I'm so bored. But after finishing this, I want to give the author another chance with one of his other books, either Beartown or A Man Called Ove, because I've heard a lot more about those books, and I can see myself liking his writing maybe with a different story. I do like though how the book explored like relationships and how we're all kind of connected, even if it's very briefly. And this morning on my Kindle, I continued reading The Wish. I was 16% into it before. Now I'm 24% into it. I'm enjoying it, not super far into it, so I don't really know how I feel about it yet. But I do like the writing. It's my first Nicholas Sparks novel, and I feel like when I was growing up, I always heard that name, so I'm excited I'm finally reading one of his books. But yeah, I'm about to head to school. I have class, and then I'm gonna stay at the library to work, but I will update you as we go along. So I'm about to leave to university, but before I do, I'm just going to show you what I'm going to be listening to on my way there. I will sometimes listen to audiobooks on my drives if I'm not feeling like music or a podcast. Right now, I'm going to start a new book. It's called None of This Is True. I don't know if you can see that. It's not the best lighting. I just listen on the Libby app. It's like an online library tool, so it's free, so I love it for that reason, but you do have to wait. Like, you have to go on a wait list sometimes, which is kind of annoying, but then you don't have to pay, so it's worth it. Basically, this book is a thriller. I don't know too much about it, but it's about this girl who hosts a podcast on true crime. Sorry, woman. She's in her 40s. And then another woman ends up coming into her life who like has a bunch of secrets, and she gets like really tangled up in her life, but then she suddenly disappears. From the synopsis, I believe that's what this is about. So we will see. I will let you know how it goes.
It's back on the coat rack. Walter nods and then...
Guys, long time no talk. It is Wednesday today. This week has been going by so quick. It's just been so busy figuring out my schedule. Not only my school schedule, but also my volunteering schedule and then potential work. Today, I don't have any classes. So this morning, I went to my car appointment because I had to fix some stuff. I've just been working from home today, which is always dangerous because my bed is right over there. So I want to get into it, but that's not a good idea. Instead of doing that, I'm going to do some cleaning because I just want to get up and move around a little bit. So while I'm cleaning, I'm going to listen to my audiobook on my phone. I've been listening to it yesterday and today on my drives, and I'm currently 41% into the book. I'm actually kind of getting into the story. I feel like when I started the book, like, yeah, I was a little bit intrigued, but I wasn't that into it. Like, I didn't really care. But as we're finding out more about these characters, I want to know what's going on. I do want to correct myself. I think last time when I was explaining this book, I said that one of the main characters, Alex, had a true crime podcast, but that is not true. She just had a podcast about successful women, I guess you could say. Then that series kind of wrapped up, so now she's trying to do something new. I'm excited to see where this story goes. I don't even want to show you my room because it's not looking its best, but I'm excited to get a clean space. Also, while I was at my car appointment today, it was about 45 minutes long. I had some time to read because I brought my Kindle. I got 36% into The Wish, so I am enjoying it right now. I don't know what to say about this book because there's no crazy plot line, yet it's keeping my attention. Like, I really don't know how to explain it. I think the writing is just pretty good. It goes back and forth between a past and present timeline, which I know some people aren't into, but I kind of like that because you learn more and more about the character in that way. Let's get cleaning and start listening to None of This Is True. Once I finished cleaning, I started doing some work for school again. I have to do so much reading as a psychology student of like scientific papers, which makes sense, like that's a big part of the field, and I enjoy it to an extent. But on some days when you're just really not feeling it and your eyes hurt from looking at a computer screen all day, it's just not that fun. Like, does this reading count as reading? It should count towards my reading goal on Goodreads, honestly. Hello guys, it is currently 12 in the morning. I had a busy day, and by the time I got ready for bed and everything, the time just got away from me a little bit. But today I ended up getting 61% into my audiobook. None of this is true. I'm very intrigued now. I think this is a good book to listen as an audiobook too, because the character Alex has her own podcast, but then there's also part of the story that's told through a documentary, and I really like how the audiobook changes like the voiceovers when it's a podcast, when it's a documentary, and when it's just like the story being told. Either way, I think having those different formats of the story is just engaging, so even if you're reading the physical book, I think that would be good. It's set in London, so the narrators have an accent, and it's just like really putting me into the setting. Like I really feel like I'm in London with them because they name drop a lot of places in London. By the way, Onyx Storm came out yesterday, and I don't have time to go to chapters tomorrow, so I'm really debating if I should just download it on my Kindle and read it online, because I do own the first book in physical format, but I don't own the second one. So then I'm like, is it even worth getting the third one if I'm not gonna have the complete series? Because I don't really want to buy the second one. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't love it as much. Still really want to read the third book though, because of the cliffhanger in the second one. That one was crazy. Just don't know. I low-key might download it on my Kindle, but everyone is talking about it and it's making me want to read it because I do not want any spoilers. I got spoiled for the first book. If you've read this and you know the cliffhanger at the end of Fourth Wing, I got spoiled from that off of a TikTok, even though it was only like a week after it was published. It was so rude. Like, it actually ruined my day when that happened. So I just don't want any spoilers around Onyx Storm. I just want to read it as soon as possible. Anyways, it is 12 in the morning. It is time for me to go to bed. To end off my night, I think I'm going to read this 101 Essays That Change the Way You Think. I'm just gonna read one of the essays. They're usually like 2 to 5 pages, like they're very short. I don't think that's going to take long. And then just to really wind down, I'm going to watch an episode of The Good Place. And lastly, I just want to quickly go on Google Calendar and time block my day. I have like a rough plan already. Anyways, I'm gonna go wind down for bed. I will see you guys tomorrow. For all my psychology students. Alright guys, it's the end of the week. It's Saturday. I'm not going to be doing much reading today. I'm about to leave for a shift and then just kind of relax for the rest of the day because it's the weekend. I ended up reading this many pages, so I'm really happy with my progress. Yesterday, me and my friend Glasha did a 12-hour readathon. If you're interested in watching that, that will be my next video coming out. This is not an average reading week for me because I usually do not do readathons. That really boosted my numbers of like the amount of pages and books that I read. Either way, it was really fun. I'm thinking of going to chapters to buy Onyx Storm, so I will take you along with me for that, and I'll see you there.